Yeah, you saw the name of that title. We're gonna get into it. Yep. Oh man, I'm just getting so good at this. I am like legitimately better than CNN and MSNBC combined. Oh, combined. By my powers combined, I will activate. Oh crap, I should have brought some water. Well, hi everybody. Happy Saturday, I guess. Well, let's get into it. Sikhs help terrorists. Air Flight 182 from Montreal to London to Delhi. Well, that was the route. On June 23rd, 1985, exactly 3 years after I was 3 days after I was born. It was rigged to explode by the Canadian Sikh terrorists. This is like even back then, they were just like acting out. Now, when I said you're not safe in this country, I meant it. Yeah. Oh yeah. Dirty Brampton cops milk votes and tax money out of these Punjabis, while many officers are Sikhs themselves. Even the head of terrorists was released from jail because our justice system is soft on Canada. So the guy who did the mastermind, who did the bombing, he's out free and he's walking around like a free citizen, like a free man after he killed all those people. Like a genocidal maniac. It's like one of those things where when I was growing up, my parents would applaud and give way too much praise to Canada, and then it's just like, but what stops people from doing like really bad crimes like this? Like if you were going to kill like this many people, like you're probably planning on dying yourself, or just ending, your normal existence, right? Because it's just like pure evil. But like Canada just like slaps them on the wrist. Yeah, 25 is the most you get, and then you get out on parole or something like that for good behavior. Yeah, no matter what you do, dude, you can like. Oh, I don't want to talk about it because it's just like it's so humiliating. All right, now I lost my place because it's all this crap. Um, well, at least if you check some diversity boxes and have enough money, like you can avoid doing like hard time here, which is what these terrorists do. Like these Sikh terrorists, they support each other. They pray at the same gurdwaras. That's what it's called. Fucking dumbass name. And it's just like one of those things where liberalism hurt both you and America in like equal strokes. So like even though not all immigrants in America are bad, a lot of them are, especially right now. And then like to see the parallels between that and Canada is just like, it's telling because it's like what happens? What if you let the immigrants run your country? Well, you can kind of see through a lens at the UK what that would be like, right? Like I hate to say it, but like their country is more or less lost, and the only way out for them is a hardcore revolution. The mayor is corrupt. The city is corrupt. The cops are corrupt. Crime is out of control. Like, and that's over there. Over here, like our population density is just vastly less. And then there's also the Humboldt truck accident, where even though the judge ruled that this guy was at fault for hitting the bus full of hockey players, right? He still appealed the deportation, right? So even though he killed all those teenagers, this man is trying to use sympathy to let him stay. Like think about my kid, but don't worry about your kid. Wow, it's so manically like insane that anybody with like common sense would see that like this guy has no soul whatsoever. It's like he's just a pure coward, you know. And that's the going trend with them, especially here in Brampton. My neighbor has a son he barely talks to, and instead of making his life better and spending time with his kids, he harasses me alongside a random group of incels, day and night too. Like, this is what they would do. Like, every single time I would, like, stick my head out the, like, window or whatever, they just, like, race around with their cars. And they're like that there 24/7. Like, you think, oh, well, maybe they're with girls, or maybe they're just having a party or like a picnic. No, dude, they're it's just guys, only guys. In fact, like Anybody who's been downtown, goes clubbing, and like goes to malls in general can like, corroborate my story. But like what you're seeing though, especially nowadays with the advent of like the internet, like online dating and stuff, is like a new kind of scam that they're trying to do, where they're staying in the country like through marriage to get permanent residency. I mean, technically speaking, that's nothing new, but like using the internet and like these people don't love each other. It's such a financial transaction, and they're most likely going to divorce, or who knows, like like keep themselves married and like get like sponsor their own family members in and then divorce. You know what I mean? Like that would be the smarter thing to do overall. But like oh like a pathetic man too. Like because I'll just keep protecting kids against Punjabi child grooming gangs because we got to talk about this. I touched on like grooming gangs, right? Like lightly, but ever since I've shared that Tommy Robinson post all those like years back, right? Or like mid 2015, 2017, 16, whatever, right? It has changed like the dynamic of like everything. And it's funny too because even today we have J.K. Rowling calling them the rape gangs. Like you got to be careful when you say words like this, or child R gang. Because it's like if I say that word too many times, then I'm probably gonna get like booted off of like YouTube. But she said it, not me. And like here, even though I speak English as my only language, I'm still a guest in the realm of speaking English and stuff. Like I'm pretty sure like a Scottish author, multi-millionaire lady could probably speak much better English than I can. So if I'm trying to whitewash these words and use grooming instead of the R word, yeah, just like blame YouTube. And you know what? I thought she was like the author of children's books, but even for it to get to her and it's like getting this heat, that means it's an issue worth discussion because it's like the idea in the UK right now is to just let it slide, let like the government, everybody who's implicated, the ethnic groups, the Punjabis, the Muslims, the Sikhs, you know they are very much implicated in this. And I'm gonna get a little off topic because I watched this Asmongold video, right? And I went into this yesterday, right? About what the biggest problem that Hindus have. And this guy, he's speaking from the heart in this video. I'm probably gonna have to link it. It's a quote to the friends in the West. Dot dot quote. Quotations around that on Asmongold TV. So if you're listening to my voice, you can just and you look it up if my link doesn't work. But anyways, he's going into length about like how India can defend itself, stay out of the way. We want peace, and this is the crux of the problem that Hindus are always going to have. Is they're appealing to peace is what makes them endlessly vulnerable. Because lying in their culture is normal. It's an expectation to do against outsiders. And even though they're in your country, they still view you as the outsider. They will ask you if you know about the Quran before they kill those people, right? In Brampton, right? If you're a Hindu and you're not in your area, the Sikhs and the Muslims will work together to harass you and to like bully you and all this stuff. And everybody, all the houses, families, everybody will work together and try to understand this. When these girls were getting groomed and sexually assaulted all across the UK and nobody cared to help them, they were telling the truth, the absolute truth. And this is why they're going to such lengths to hide it. It's shameful, I admit. I wouldn't want to be part of this or like associated. Like if I had like a friend or a family member involved, God forbid. Like it's one of those things that really opens up your eyes and makes you take a breath of fresh air, a fresh air, air so fresh it can help you see. see through time, you know? And it's that time again. That time again. And like a lot of Hindus are going to be angry. Excuse me. Excuse me. Sorry about that. That I want to defend and fend for myself in the country of Canada and my fellow citizens, etc., etc., right? And to that I say, well, your weakness is perpetual. Let me explain. You think that it's just this attack in 2025. I remember a movie called Slumdog Millionaire. You guys remember that movie? I remember that movie. There was this guy called Dev Patel. I think he was like the main actor in it, right? You know, he was. I remember because I watched the fucking movie. God damn it. And let me tell you something about this movie. If you ever wanted a reason to hate Hindus, just watch the movie. It'll just give you like a bunch of reasons. Oh my God, those Hindu street vendors, they're evil people. They put this heroin and they heat it up, and when the kid is sleeping, they throw it in the eye, and then the kid's blind, and then they could get more money because the kid is a blind beggar now, right? Or like, you know, the whole like scene with like the feces and he's going up to that Bollywood star, or like anything like in that movie. It was just like totally offensive towards Hindus. Like especially at the beginning where you see an angry mob of Hindus. They're just like out of control and they see a woman with children. They're like, oh, finally, time to unleash my inner Hindu demons. You know, let me unleash I don't know, some curry. I'll put it in my eyes and I'll turn red and I'll become a bull, even though it's a sacred animal. I'll become a horned man, a horny man. Attack the woman, and instead of like, you know, doing anything with her, we'll just kill her for some unknown reason because we're so angry. And that's the movie. And then it goes from there with the poor Muslims in their plight in Bombay. Oh my goodness! And his own dark-skinned brother, rapes the love interest of, I forget his name. I think, and her name, I remember her name like almost. It's hilarious. It's called rupee. That's like that's the currency over there. Oh man. And then there's the movie. It's just like this like debaucherous, like, you know, almost reflective horror on our culture. And ever since then, I've known the weakness of what it means to be a Hindu. Like the subsequent seeing people bathing in manure in the festivals or whatever afterwards and all the other stuff that happened. Like, you know, say what you want about the Muslims and the Sikhs, but Hindus, especially in India, they tend to do the same thing. They tend to, you know, sexually assault women. And it's one of those things. We have to fucking, you want to be friends with these people. You want to fight for them. You want to die for them. Are you sure about that? Are you positive? I'm pretty sure that if I helped somebody like that and I died and there was a God, there will be no forgiveness for me. It's just the way it is, you know? Like, there's certain lines that you cross that you can't come back from. And in that sense, the weakness of Hindus is to allow the mercy, to allow people who are foreign to get close to you. Yes, you can allow other religions to get close to you, but there are certain religions that you cannot trust. And Sikhism, just the same as Islam, is one of those religions that you cannot trust. This segment is absolutely false. All this is going to do is waste ammunition, you know, military funding, whatever, and then it's just going to cost more lives in the long run because the defenses are going to be down. You can't protect everybody, and eventually it will happen again until you smarten up. Stop shaming your fellow Hindus. Rely on your fellow Hindus. Bow down to your fellow Hindus. Your fellow Hindus who want to fight with you and fight for you, they are your friends. Because guess what? Your enemies, when they're finished killing you, your family, and everybody you know, they'll go for them as well. So they have no choice. They have to fight alongside you, just as I do. Just because I converted to Buddhism doesn't mean I can escape from this. These animals, they want blood, and they will only get it if you give it to them. The easiest way to circumvent their power, their influence, and their capabilities is to make their actions and their presence known vocally, loud. Let people know that they gang rape women. Let people know that they molest children, that they will groom them. Do not be shy about this. Tell the news. Tell your friends. Make like loud noises in your car. Like make recordings of it. Let people know that this is not okay and it will not pass. Because this will continue to happen until us Hindus, us people, fight against it. And these outsiders, these people who want dominance, who want superiority, who use each other. Oh, and I haven't even talked about like the greatest sham of their like, presence coming here. Do you want to know how a lot of them make a lot of money? They will get like a piece of property and rent it out to their own, right? Now, this isn't anything new. Like a lot of like cultures do this. This is very like common, right? Like you'll have like Russians, Cantonese speaking, right? Like it's Spanish, etc., right? So what makes this so bad is their lack of maintenance and their carelessness to stick as many people in one living place as humanly possible. So like maybe other cultures might have one or the other, but having both. I've seen videos on Instagram showing the squalor and the habits of these so-called slum landlords. And let me tell you something, like it has turned Brampton into like a rat-infested city. There's rats in my area, like literally. Like I would walk down my street and it would just be crossing like the stop sign, look down and you just see them scurrying. I mean, it gives the hawks a lot of food, I guess, but like kind of gross when they jump in houses and carrying diseases. And the thing you got to watch out the most from like mice, and this is mostly with all rodents, but like is their parasites. And this is the thing that spreads the plague. These sikhs, these Pakis, they don't like to throw out their garbage. They're not clean. Not all of them, but like around this area specifically. But I'm getting off topic, right? Like the safeguard of women, both in India and Pakistan, because they're victims, right, is necessary. Like they even found them trying to set up like a grooming gang in Canada, right? Excuse me. So, back in the day when there was YouTube, there wasn't like the YouTube policy. They would have like predator, pedophile sting operations, and one of them, like I was seeing off YouTube before the policy change, like it was a group of Sikh men, right? And there was like six of them. But like at the time, it was like the COVID restrictions, lockdown, whatever. So they had masks on, but the video is, I saved it. It's like it might still be circulating around, but like YouTube would like say, oh, this is against terms and service policies, whatever. But it speaks to how pathetic they are. Like even during the lockdown, they're gonna travel this distance because the bust happened in Kitchener, right? And they came from Brampton, as they said in the video. And there's like, I remember it's like 3, 4 cars, and like 6 people basically. It's so freakish, Yeah, but like having this kind of like realization is, I think, something that should be eye-opening, not just for Hindus, but also for Jewish people. And sorry for me to get into this because this is basically none of my business, and what I'm about to say is very offensive, but try to understand I'm saying this with compassion of understanding and urgency. So during the October 7th music festival, I noticed a couple darker skinned individuals. Now I know some Israelis are like Arabic, like Kafkazi and stuff. Like they have darker skin. Mizrahi as Tal Oraniv, the traveling clat, cool guy. Go watch his videos. But like, what I'm saying is, when I observed that, this attack was very much planned. Like it was executed in a way where they understood the perimeter of the music festival, and to understand that these music festivals tend to be kept on the hush because you don't want the cops to come and then everyone's on hard drugs. Nobody could get it. Nobody run away, and everyone was just like, well, "What are we gonna do? All these girls are here. Damn it, man, we're screwed." So that's why they keep it on like the secret scale. Like I was never cool enough to go to one in Canada, but like yeah, there were ones in Canada. Oh yeah, again, I was never cool enough. I was out of the thing. I went to some parties though. I had some fun when I was younger. But like also again, when you're going downtown and you're clubbing and you're female, even if you're Sikh yourself or Muslim, like you got to watch your drink, right? Like it's one of those things where time and desperation create pressure, and when applied to like a human psyche, eventually it's going to break it. So it's like you take a cultural norm that they had back in their country, and then you mesh it together with like the modern like capability, subterfuge, wearing masks, cell phones, fentanyl drugging. By the way, yeah, watch your drinks. They like to do that, and like all these things that you got to watch out for. But just understand that like India's winning, and these guys are cowards and little bitches, and you just have to protect yourself. All right. So take care of yourself and trust your fellow Hindu, man. If you don't like them, we're in this together, no matter what. Take care.